All right, good morning, you guys. This morning, I would like you to do the following problems, not on your whiteboards, but in your notebooks, because these are ones that we need help with to make sure that we get them right. And I'll give you some time to practice. All right, when we have more than one operation, remember we want to use PEMDAS. And when we use PEMDAS, we change minus signs into add the inverse, and hopefully you notice that we have to multiply these first. And so when we do that, negative times a negative is 27, plus negative 7 plus 2 is going to be negative 14. And 27 plus a negative 14, 13. Because if you have a positive and negative, you just subtract them. If we follow PEMDAS here, we have to multiply all of these numbers, and multiply all of these numbers. And once again, a minus sign, I would add the inverse for those. So then negative 8 times negative 7 is negative 56, times negative 2, plus negative 7 times negative 5 is going to be 35. Negative times a negative is going to be 112, 112, common mistake, plus 35 is going to be 147. Then if we talk about like terms, I'm going to start with the A's first. If we add the inverse, we have 7a plus a negative 10a is going to be negative 3a plus negative 4b plus 13 is going to be 9b. And that's how we do those. If you get confused by those, please ask me. I would love to answer those questions for you so you get them right on your test. Now we can get ready for order of operations with positive and negative numbers. If you can get this in your notebook, pause at any time to get it in. Otherwise, when we add or subtract like terms, once again, the X's are like terms. Use the symbol in front of them. And so that's actually a positive. 5.3 plus 3.9, just line up your decimals. You get a 2. You get a 9.2x, because they're both positive. Right here, this is actually a negative 1y. This is actually a negative 10. So that's going to be minus, then, 11y. Right here, this is actually 1 pi plus a negative 3a, plus a negative 7 pi, plus 12a. So if we talk about like terms, negative 3a plus 12a is going to be 9a, plus 1 pi plus negative 7 pi will be negative 6 pi. And I would actually simplify that to 9a minus 6 pi. That's what we have. Now, if we keep going, hopefully you can read this. We have order of operations. In order to be successful today, we always want to follow order of operations and always separate the plus or minus signs. And so right now, I'd like you to take a look at this and try it on your own. Pause it, and then resume. And right now, if we take a look at this, hopefully you'd notice that we have to multiply the negative 2's. So you have negative 2 then, plus 4, minus, we have to divide these. Negative 2 divided by 2 is going to be a negative 1. Anytime you have negative numbers, I would always say write them in parentheses. Because then watch this. Oh, what do we do with minus signs? Add the inverse. Now that we have all addition, we can just go left to right. Negative 2 plus 4 is 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. And so then we just have some more PEMDAS ones. Right here, if you can write this down and pause it and then try it in your notebook. Once again, PEMDAS, always do parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication. So if we look, there's parentheses we can simplify here. So we have -3 then. 2 plus a -4 is -2. I'm just going to add the inverse right away because the number one mistake people make is positives, negatives. If you notice, we could also multiply those numbers. -3 times -4 is going to be 12. 12 divided by 2. So once again, some people write PEMDAS for every single one of these, and then like cross out because we just did parentheses. There's no exponents. And we have some multiplication we can do, which we've already started with this one. But let's continue to do multiplication and division. Well, right now you should see that 6 plus 12 divided by 2 is 6. So we can do that. We also can multiply, and we also can multiply there, or you can multiply those two front numbers. Since it's all multiplication, doesn't matter what order we go in. So -3 times -2 is 6. -2 times -3 is 6. 6 times -4 is -24. And then we have 12 divided by 2, which we already said was 6. Now, a very common mistake, people would start doing things like out of order, and sometimes you mix up your positives, negatives. Just make sure, just go left to right. So 6 plus a -24 is going to be -18, because when you have one of each symbol, you subtract. -18 plus 6 is going to be -12. So there we go. Once again, your best friend with this assignment is PEMDAS. Right here, if you can take a pause on this and try to solve it on your own. Because after this, we only have one more. PEMDAS. Hopefully you guys noticed. There's no parentheses. There's no exponents. There is multiplication, so we better do that. So we have -2. Once again, minus then, brackets, parentheses. Then we go minus. Well, 4 times 5 is 20. Keep all these symbols straight. No more multiplication. But anytime but we do have parentheses we can continue to follow to simplify. Hopefully you guys would add the inverse here. -3 plus -20 then is -23. -2 minus. Well, as soon as you see a minus sign, add the inverse, because then you have 23 minus 2, which equals 21. PEMDAS, very important. You guys study your rotations. Get ready for the test. Thanks. So, last problem for today. Hopefully you think it looks like the easiest one. See if you can pause it, solve it. And then if we go for it, I always do brackets around what I do first. Keep the -2 there. 3 times -2 is -6. Add the inverse here. -2 times 4. It's going to be -8. -2. Since it's all addition, we can just go left to right. -2 plus -6 is -8. -8 plus -8 equals -16. And once again, time and time again, you just go back to PEMDAS. Keep following the PEMDAS. All right. And if you're wondering what I would like you to do for practice, yes, do A, C, E, and G and starred. And if there's more than 10 starred, just do the 10 there. So just do 10. If you have any questions, please ask me. Otherwise, thank you very much.